We're going to talk today about this continuing issue with Syria and Israel. As we know, 2 days ago, Israel bombed Damascus, and they said that they were doing it to intervene in a supposed conflict between the Druze forces and then the forces of the security forces of the defense. Now, the Druze are a small ethnic group, sort of like underrepresented, sort of the way the Kurds are in countries like Iraq, and they are claiming that they're, they had a what you call it what do you call it when two ceasefire. They had a ceasefire with Iran, not with Iran, with Syria, but that Syria broke the ceasefire. So Israel came in, and their justification is, according to Bibi, is we are here to help our Druze brothers who we have a long historical agreement and understanding with. But as I see it again, once again, the real reason that Israel is bombing Syria, especially a regime that is in there thanks to the fact that the U.S. and Israel helped Assad. I mean, helped these guys, help al-Sharaa, who's now the president, get rid of Assad. Just goes to show you the pattern that's going on here, where to be an enemy of the U.S. and Israel is dangerous, but to be a friend is fatal. So it now looks like they're turning on this guy. What reason do you think Israel is really bombing these guys, Kule?
I don't really know. I mean, obviously they're damaging and destroying whatever is left of the Syrian infrastructure in order to protect this group. I know that Israel is up to no good. I don't know the truth on this. I need to do more research on the Jews. They're an Islamic group. They're actually an Islamic group.
Yeah,
They're not Jewish.
yeah,
They follow some strange practices. So I'm
yeah.
still learning about them.
They're sort of
Um,
a spin not spin off, but they have elements of Islam in it, but then they have some elements of Christianity and Judaism in it also. But to me, it's clear. We know that Trump just met with the president of one of the smaller countries. I think it was Qatar, not Qatar. Don't quote me on that. But the idea is that Israel, Qatar, UAE, Emirates, Saudi Arabia, they're all together now with this accord called the Abraham Accord. And their ultimate plan is to put in a technocratic state in Gaza, which is why they're doing their genocidal act in Gaza right now, the U.S. and Israel, to build a technocratic state there to bond also and strengthen things with not so there's Lebanon there against who's the other country that's usually fought with them
well, they've attacked Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, Iran.
yeah,
They were
Jordan is their
messing
friend.
about with
Jordan is their friend.
Egypt.
So what they're doing is they're trying to weaken all of these countries so that Iran is isolated. So that's their ultimate goal. So to me, what's going on with Syria is they got rid of Assad, who was really strong, and then they brought in an Al Qaeda ex-terrorist person. They helped him bring in. They did a deal with the devil. But now that this guy is also asserting the sovereignty of his own country, I think they're going after him also, and they're just using the Druzes as a pretext, the same way that George Bush and America have consistently used the Kurds as a pretext to aggress against Iran or Iraq. So to me, I don't think they really care about the Druze. Since when did Israel? Since when did Netanyahu care about the solidarity of another group other than the Jewish people or even himself? What do you think, Kunle?
Yes, exactly. That's why I said that this is a strategic move. It has nothing to do with the ideology, although I saw that they do have an ideological history in the sense of 11th century Moses, something or other. I'm not quite sure.
And that's
Um,
what Netanyahu carried. Netanyahu's such a biblical saint. You know, the Lord, Yevesha, what do they call God in Israel? Whatever. Yeshua has said that we must live together with these people. Come on, you think he really cares about that?
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, this happened with the Taliban and Rambo, where they were saying that they have the same ideological values with the Taliban and the Christians of America. They were pushing this narrative in the 80s when the Taliban were being sponsored by the CIA to fight the Russians. So I know that they can do these things. That they're not from any position of any kind of seriousness in the interest of the betterment of the people. And also, when you see these things, they're only able to do strikes because as much as the Abraham Accord has united these countries under like a U.S. kind of a military pact banner. The populations of those countries don't have the military will to go to war against Iran or against any of the Muslim contingencies that America and Israel see as a threat. Their populations wouldn't want to. That's why the only way they can do anything right now is by drones and strikes. They cannot encourage their population to support any kind of war or any kind of violent action, especially when it is most times against Muslims and the Islamic world in that region. But at the same time, they don't care about Christianity as well. Just yesterday, Israel struck Greek, is it a Catholic church? Israel struck a Catholic church in Gaza, I think overnight or this morning, a few hours ago. So I don't really know. I don't really believe that Israel has anybody's best interest at heart except for its own, keeping its people around it in a state of anarchy, destruction. And whilst there's all this is going on, they can reap the benefits. They can come in, take over the land, and do whatever they want to do. I do believe they have some designs on Syria. How that's going to pan out now.
They're using this so-called conflict with the Druze, which I think that they're probably inflaming, and the State Department is behind. And I think that they're letting that be an excuse to jump in and say they have to mediate. But what they're really doing is trying to stretch their border even deeper into Syria. I mean, ideally, these guys would like all of Syria, all of Palestine, and all of Gaza to be one country for them. But they know they can't do that, so they're trying to annex it in a way and then turn those areas into technocratic, and sort of like how Britain rules the rest of the world from a distance, that type of thing. So that's what Israel wants to do. And the audacity of the U.S. to act like they don't know what's going on. On Monday, Rubio said, "Well, I don't know what's going on, but they have to stop." He said Israel and Syria have to stop. We're not going to go for this with the bombing. First of all, stop. It was a one-sided thing. It was a bombing because he didn't even know what was going on. Then later on, they're saying, "Oh, the fighting in that area has to stop," as if the U.S. is not giving Israel the green light. And so this is that continual thing. We say that AIPAC helps American politicians, but it seems to be by a symbiotic relationship to me, in which there's no way that Israel could keep doing what it's doing unless the U.S. stopped giving it money. So, and I think that the U.S. Is giving them the green light on Syria, just as Syria. I mean, when Israel was not being able to handle Iran, that's when the U.S. brokered a ceasefire. The reason they had a ceasefire is because Israel was getting their ass whipped by Iran. Israel was whipping Iran's ass too, but it was more glaring for a superpower like Israel for once to see its citizens feel like they're not safe. So that's what they're trying to do. And like you said, other countries won't allow an occupation for Israel to occupy anywhere, and they won't allow their governments to help them occupy, but they will allow them to help them control them this way. What do you think? Yeah, indirectly.
Yes, I mean, look at the history of that region. Look at these countries: Syria, Libya, Iraq, now Gaza. These countries are all being laid waste. So many countries have been laid waste through Israel and America, and Syria seems to just be another one on the list. What I find amazing is how they managed to project so much aggression and violence, but they still managed to lull the population and everyone into believing that it's Islamic fundamentalism that is violent and they are the peaceful ones. And that is the message that they give.
This is the contradiction.
And it's actually,
this is the contradiction of white supremacy. Israel is a European country. European countries are never overtly or latently violent. They're never oppressive. They're always fighting for freedom. Now they're fighting to help the Druze. They help to the Druze. That's what they're doing. They're fighting to help the Druze. When they attacked Iran, it's because Iran said Israel must no longer exist. So they're dangerous, so they have to do a preemptive strike. Oh,
you know why they're defending the Druze? Because they sound like the Jews.
Yeah, Druze, the Jews. Yeah. But it's always someone. Remember when they wanted to help the Kurds? Oh, we have to kill Saddam because of what he's doing to the Kurds. So the thing is that Israel, now everybody knows they're in the wrong, but it's become a habit for people just to sit down and let them do whatever they want. So some people are protesting, but a lot of people are saying, what can we do? But it just seems like the rest of the world does not really care because they're trying their best to stop Russia from occupying Ukraine. I'm not going to say what the merits of that case are, but when they see their own people, when they see Europeans getting treated anywhere remotely close to how Gaza is being treated or the Middle East is treated, they're ready to go on a crusade. They're ready to go on a crusade. Americans were giving their own money. Like whenever we buy things at the grocery store, would you like to donate $1 for Ukraine? You don't see them doing that for Palestine. They just cry, "Oh, please stop killing them." But they're not actively trying to stop Israel, but they're actively trying to stop Russia. So I'll end on that point just to show you the double standard in the world, which is why Israel can get away with what it's getting away with. What are your thoughts? Oh,
Yeah, and
last time an American citizen was killed trying to protect um, people who were having their land stolen by settlers in Israel. The U.S. government won't even go to find out who did it and hold Israel responsible. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, there's this confusion for me. I want to find out. I'm going to try to do some more research on the Druze and what it is that they're doing in this mix-up. I do understand that the Syrian government, the new Syrian government, are the ones that are actually at odds with them. So that's where the clashes are.
Yeah.
And then Israel has now decided to side with the rebel side. And you know, when they threw over Erdogan, they sided with the rebel side to throw over Erdogan. And now
Yeah.
they're siding with another rebel side against the government again.
Yeah.
They keep siding.
Sorry to jump in, but what if Israel is flaming a rebellion with these Druze people saying, "Hey, step up and fight up against Syria"? So what if they're flaming it? You get my point, inspiring them, sort of like with Taiwan. Maybe the Druze are like Taiwan. Oh yeah, you can fight the Syrian government and do what you and get a little bit more sovereignty. I'm not saying that's what they're doing, but we have to always take into consideration that that's a playbook that the West uses. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't allow countries like Syria to develop into what they were before. If you remember what the Arab Revolution in 2011 and all those countries, the
Spring
Arab
Revolution.
Spring, sorry, and you know, and Syria, I think, was destroyed in that. And Syria, Iraq, these countries had a lot of proxies and a lot of power and a lot of stable, vibrant, amazingly vibrant economies before this time. Libya as well, and they were a real major threat to Western influence in the Middle East. And one by one, these countries have been turned into wastelands. And what I'm now seeing is Israel supporting yet another rebel group in Syria, which is going to affect Syria's ability to recover. It will either slow it down or make it impossible. I do not know what the plan is long term, but it's definitely not in the interest of Syria and the Syrian people, and mostly in the interest of whatever Israel is looking to project to empower in the region.
Yeah, I can't see anything good coming out of it. But once again, we have to see how long this can last because this cannot be maintained. I think at some point the West is going to have serious protests to end this, and the UN is going to have to step in. Just like I forgot the name of the lady from the UN that they've ostracized now, the Italian lady, Francesca something. They're going against her. Once you start going against once you start going against white liberal women, that means your days are numbered. You get what I'm saying, Francesca? Once white women are complaining, that means the cause is about to reach new levels.
Are you saying the lady that survived the vote of no confidence a few days ago? Is it her? Yeah.
Yeah, Francesca. Let me see what her last name is before I get out of here. Nice looking lady too, man. To be honest with you. See, I said it.
Yeah, the evil ones always look nice at this, you know.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You pull down their pants, something will be smelling. That's the problem.
Let me find out what her name is before we get out of here. Francesca Albanese.
Albanese, that's it.
Yeah, but no, she's standing for Palestine, and they're going against her because she's telling the truth. So once people like that start becoming heroes, because you know that she's not trustworthy either. But when she's against it, she's becoming a hero. It's a sign that popular opinion is turning. So this cannot continue. But meanwhile, they still continue killing 100 or so Palestinian children a day. So this has to stop
every day.
This is but it's a controlled number. They're killing about 100 to 200 every day. So we're gonna pray to that end. But anyway, let's move on. So Kunle, I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Okay.
All right. Good show.
Okay.
All right.